Collecting things is a way of life for a Visalia couple. George and Annabelle Pope have amassed a collection that ranges from antique dolls to vintage cars and even an old carousel.
And Action News reporter Gene Higginson joins us now with a look inside their stuff.
That's right, Liz and Warren. Well, lots of folks collect stuff, but George and Annabelle Pope have taken it to a much higher level. Over their 7 decades together, they've collected some pretty neat stuff and a lot of friends along the way.
These folks are having some good old-fashioned fun, and I mean old-fashioned, riding a vintage carousel as many times as they like.
Two or three times.
Took us back to childhood, to Mooney's Girl for me.
Hearing an ancient pipe organ from the silent movie days.
Oh, it's lovely. Did you like it?
I like it.
It's a fun instrument.
Admiring cars that were on the road before most of them were born.
Me at the cars. I love the old cars.
They've all come together to share that love at George and Annabelle Pope's place just outside Visalia. The Popes are both 87, married for 67 years, and it looks like they've been collecting stuff for every one of those years. It picked up after George retired from Southern California Edison more than 30 years ago. They bought and restored the carousel and organ to remind them of their younger days.
We grew up in the early days of the Depression, and in Southern California they had the old Long Beach Pike, and they had pipe organs down there, and we just loved pipe organs and carousel.
The organ came from a silent movie house in Modesto. Local organ virtuoso Pete Sweeney did the playing, entertaining the crowd who came by vintage car to see vintage cars, especially Model A Fords. That's how the Popes connected with all of these folks, members of the Happy Honkers, a local Model A Ford club.
I always liked Model A's. I couldn't afford one when I was in school.
George and Annabelle, George mostly, have been obsessed with these cars for more than 50 years and have several in their collection.
And I bought my first Model A for $70.
But George has a certain affection for newer cars as well.
When I was going to university, I was madly in love with a girl that had a 41 convertible, and I just loved the car. I can't remember her name, but I still love the 41 Ford. So when I had a chance to buy this, that was why. It brought back a lot of good memories.
And he has a special car, a Rolls Royce, to remember the most important day of his life, his wedding day.
And the mannequin in the back is wearing my wife's wedding dress 67 years ago. She said she wore it only once by mistake.
Annabelle wouldn't say it was a mistake, but admits it wasn't quite love at first sight.
We met on a blind date on a hayride, and he proposed then, and I said, well, no.
Buying, restoring, and caring for all this stuff would seem like a full-time job, but Annabelle still has time to do her own thing.
I have hobbies.
Dolls, doll houses.
They're smaller hobbies than his.
All this is really something to see, and the Popes don't mind letting others get a kick out of what they've got.
We like to share what we've got, and a lot of people rode the carousel today, and they hadn't ridden one in many, many years, so it's great to show them and let them enjoy the past.
They're letting the whole country share in one of their biggest projects, a 1930 Model A school bus they restored and drove across the United States with their son and daughter back in 1964. The bus is going to be part of the permanent display at the Model A Ford Museum in Michigan, which has a grand opening in May.
It's going to be a big gala event.
All right.
And we're going to drive back there.
In a Model A?
No, not this time.
George and Annabelle have found the secret to a long and happy life and marriage. They've each done their own thing together and kept busy.
We've been married 67 years this June, and it's been pretty nice. We're still getting to know each other after 67 years.
And it's pretty nice they're letting everyone else be entertained by their collections and inspired by the two of them.
Now, they don't just collect stuff. They restore it, take care of it, display it, and as you saw, they are happy to share it all. And on top of that, they have an antique shop and a walnut grove to tend to as well. Truly remarkable and really nicest folks you'll ever meet.
What a treasure here in the valley to have all of that in one place.
Right, it's all at their place, and they're happy to.
They've got all that stuff, Gene, but I think the main attraction there is the Popes.
Them.
Yeah, they're great.
Definitely, they are the treasure.
Yeah.
You got it,
Okay.
Gene.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Gene.